I was taking down all these credit criminals. See, usually you guys see me picking on these thieves with bad credit, but today, I want to talk about a different kind of credit criminal activity. Let's talk about authorized user trade lines. See, y'all thought you were slick, piggybacking off someone else's payment history to trick the banks into giving you loans that you don't deserve. Well, I got news for you cardholders that thought you could use your good credit to make money, screwing over the innocent banks and helping these losers boost their credit score. You see, Dr. Denied is on to you, and I'm working with these banks. So when you add authorized users, we're gonna shut your cards down. Then you're gonna lose that trade line from your credit report, which is gonna drop your score down now too. So the lesson today is, AU trade lines are lies, and if you sell them, you will get denied.
Alright guys, all I can say is innocent banks my ass. So Dr. Denied and the banks have now joined forces and are shutting down people who add and remove other people as authorized user trade lines on their credit card accounts. Well, the match made in heaven, the banks and Dr. Denied. Oh Lord. Lucky for you guys, I'm on the job, and I'm going to show you guys how to get around or mitigate having your card shut down if you sell authorized user trade line spots. For those of you that don't know, authorized user trade lines are pretty much when you take someone who you don't know, or maybe you do know, and add them on your credit account as an authorized user. The reason you would do this is because they would gain a credit boost. It would reflect on their credit the next time the posting cycle happens. It would reflect on their credit as an authorized user, like they've had the card for as long as you have, and they've had the limit. So that's why there are a lot of people out there who are making extra money by selling spots on their credit card accounts. There's nothing wrong with that, but the banks are definitely not happy with it. And it seems that Dr. Denied has now made it a quest to make sure everybody gets their account shut down for trying to do this. So I'm going to tell you guys some of the biggest offenders when it comes to shutting down a credit card account, and I'm going to show you guys, or at least help you guys, get around that happening. First bank I'd like to talk about is Citibank. Now Citibank, they're pretty liberal when it comes to shutting down accounts, but they will shut them down. The one way that you can avoid getting your card shut down with Citibank is you need to slow down the rate at which you add and remove people. There's some companies out there that people are card holders for, and they're having them add and remove people like every month. Well, yeah, that sounds great at first because, right, more people on, more people off, more money. The only problem with that is when people are added and removed every month, the banks see this as suspicious activity, and they're going to look into the account, what's going on, and they're going to shut it down. Citibank is definitely a card that you cannot add and remove people that much. I would say I would wait every 90 days before adding and removing people. Also, never put more than 5 people on a Citibank card at one time. That's just good advice, and that will make sure that that card stays alive as long as possible. The next offender I'd like to talk about is Bank of America. Now, Bank of America, they used to be pretty good when it came to this kind of stuff. But as of lately, they're really getting aggressive at shutting cards down if they see you adding and removing people. And Bank of America will take it another step further. They'll shut down other accounts that you may have. Like, let's just say you have 2 credit card accounts with Bank of America. If you're doing it with only 1 credit card account, they'll shut down the other card just because you did it on the other account. I mean, they are bastards when it comes to this. They're one of the worst cards. I feel as though one of the worst cards that you can use as an authorized user trade line to try to sell AUs. But they do post, They're easy to add. It's just the threat of getting it shut down is really high. So with them, I would only do 5 AUs a year on that card because of how aggressive they are when it comes to shutting cards down. The next card I'd like to talk about is Capital One. Now, Capital One, there's a way to get around having your card shut down. It's when you add someone as an authorized user, you need to get documents. You need to have a picture of their driver's license and social security card. Because what Capital One likes to do is if you're adding and removing people on Capital One, they'll all of a sudden lock up your card and say, all right, we want identification for all the people you've ever added and removed on this card. And if you can't provide it, they'll lock the card up for like a year, and then the card will eventually be closed after a year of inactivity. But it's really a pain in the ass. They won't, if you call, you bitch, you cry, you moan, they won't unlock it. There's nothing you can do. The only way to get it unlocked is to have those documents. So if you plan on selling as a Capital One as an authorized user Tradeline account, make sure you get documents from people if you care about that account. The next account I'd like to talk about is Discover. Now, Discover, they used to be great as far as adding and removing people too. I mean, it was like there was a time where you could just every month almost. Now, with Discover, you want to wait at least 90 days per adding and removing. And I would say no more than 5 people. They're almost as sensitive now as Bank of America. Not quite as sensitive, but they're up there. So you don't want to be having a lot of activity when it comes to Discover, because they will shut your card down just like Bank of America, just like Citi, and just like Capital One. So you want to make sure less activity. That's the thing that a lot of these companies, when they have people as their authorized user Tradeline card holders, they don't tell them that. And their cards are getting burned out. So if you want to keep your cards open, you got to listen to the Crusader, because this will happen. Now, another card I'd like to talk about, or bank, is Synchrony or MySynchrony. They're the same deal. There was a time MySynchrony or Synchrony, either one, that you could add and remove people every month. Then I want to say about 2 years ago, they just started shutting cards down. So again, with them, your best course of action is to keep people on longer. You want to keep people on for at least 3 billing cycles, not 2, definitely not 1. Because the more activity, the more adding, the more removing, the more times you're calling in, going online, the more action that they see, they have put in defenses to basically stop people from doing what you guys are trying to do, make money by selling authorized user Tradeline accounts. So again, that bank is definitely one you want to do it softly. You want to have it 90 days at minimum before you're adding and removing people. They only allow you to have 3 authorized users at one time. So you want to space that out, because if you don't, you're going to burn the card, you're going to kill the golden goose, and you're going to lose out on a lot of potential money you could have made had you just done it softly. That's the best advice I can give you. Now, there are some other banks that won't shut down credit card accounts, like Barclay, Regions, PNC. I mean, there are better accounts for AU trade lines, but some of you guys out there, you only have the cards that are aged, that are worth money. You only have the ones that will get shut down. So I hope this video helps you guys mitigate getting your card shut down if you decide to sell authorized user trade lines. So if there's anybody out there who'd like to make money off of their authorized user trade line accounts, I'd like to recommend Tradeline Vault. They're a great company, they've been around for years, and they know how to take care of their card holders to make sure their cards don't get shut down. There are other companies out there you can try, but they're the only ones that I know that actually they space things out. I think Tradeline Supply, they just burn through people. I mean, there's some of these other companies out there, they'll give you the ads, but it's like, what good is it if you only can add and remove people like 3 or 4 times, your card gets shut down. And then they're like, all right, yeah, see you later, you're no use to us anymore, get more cards. If you want your cards to last, go on down to Tradeline Vault. It's the best advice I can give you. With that being said, I gotta get going. Dr. Denied I gotta take care of this guy. I mean, he's really starting to get on my nerves. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Crusader out.